Dice Tower People's Choice Top 100 Games of All Time. Dice Tower People's Choice Top 100 Games of All Time.
Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia, yellow.
Sam Healy, green.
I get what you did.
So, for the last month or so, we've been going through all our top 100 games of all time. And we did those in hour-long videos, and many people enjoyed it. Some people said it was too long and didn't watch. This time, we're going through your top 100. Over 2,000 people voted on the top.
1,000.
Well, you know.
Good, that's good.
Good.
And we're gonna switch it up, and we're gonna do them all in 10 minutes.
Shotgun.
You said it was too long before?
Not quite. So, a couple things about the People's Choice, and I find that the People's Choice thing is kind of fascinating for a couple reasons. I think, and obviously this is biased, but I think the People's Choice Top 100 is the best way to find out what people like at any given point better than any other version on the internet. Mm-hmm. I like Board Game Geek's top list of, they have all their games ranked, mm-hmm. and it's useful, but it's not completely useful because there's a lot of prejudices that get their way in there. For example, if you don't like a certain game, mm-hmm. Then you're not going to vote for it, probably. So some games will rise on that. Mm-hmm. It certainly tends towards what's hot and new, but it also never gets rid of votes, ever.
Right, so, it never forces people to reevaluate their thoughts. Mm-hmm. So oftentimes you'll rank something a 10 upon first impression. It's amazing, I loved it, you cool off on it, but that 10 sticks around.
Right.
And it also has a bias against popular games sometimes, mm-hmm. like the big gateway style games that many people play are not often ranked as highly as they might be. True. And so someone coming into the hobby, they'll look and say, oh wow, here's this really heavy Euro game that's ranked number 1 or 2 or 3, that must be one of the best games. Maybe not necessarily. So for these lists, and we've been doing this now, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the 7th year that we've been doing it. First year was 2011. So it's interesting to see how things go up and down on the list. Mm-hmm. Again, going up and down this list isn't the end of the world. If it's 140 out of, all that, that's still a game people really like.
Right.
But we do notice trends. We notice some games rise up and then fall down. Some games start really high and fall down. Some games come and stick around forever. For a while, I think several years, the number 1 was unchanged. It was unseated. Will it be unseated this year? We'll have to see. Got any predictions? These guys don't know what the list is.
You will no longer be the voice of the people.
Oh no! Next top 100, I'll just change my number 1 to match whatever theirs is.
What do you think number 1 is? Call it now.
I think number 1 is Pandemic.
What do you think?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I really have no idea.
Usually the voice of the masses is...
I'm going to say it's Codenames.
Not mine.
All right. So you're guessing either
Pandemic
or Codenames.
Yeah, one of those two.
So he has 2.
I would not be surprised.
You got it? You're going to say Codenames too?
TF4, let's say.
I'll say, I don't know, something dumb like Splendor.
All right. Well, I'm going to spoil one of the guesses for now, and that's TI4 was not even on the list at all.
Come on now.
But that's because it just came out too.
Yeah.
And so for the rest of this,
TI3 also was probably not on the list either.
So for the rest of this list, we're going to go over the games that did not make it. So if you don't, some people sit there and they try to figure out what they are.
Okay.
For some of those, this will spoil you, so just go to the next video. But we're going to talk about games that didn't make it. I have up to this year ranked up to 150. We're not going to go over all those, but we're going to talk about games that have fallen off the top list from last year and why we think they fell off, and games that I think will be on the list next year, and then there's other ones, whatever. So we're going to just cover those. Again, this might be considered spoilers for some people, so whatever. Here we go. The first one that's new to the list that I think might, curiosity, 148 is Pandemic Iberia.
Okay.
Ooh.
Does that not surprise you? That really surprised me.
That's high.
That it's that high?
It is.
Yeah.
That's high.
Well, it's been getting a lot of love, actually, for the people. I don't think it's had a lot of penetration in the among the people that just enjoyed Pandemic originally casually. But everybody who seems to have really enjoyed Pandemic and has played the different versions out there, a lot of them do say Iberia is better than Pandemic, basic Pandemic. So I'm not surprised.
That's cool.
Just so you wondered, for the people who voted in this, they could vote for up to 25 games. Their order didn't matter. They
Okay.
ranked their first one best. So you'll see games on here that have people who really like those games, but you also see games that a lot of people like. So both will show up on the list. So the first one I think that we might see go higher is 143, and that's Secret Hitler. That's not a game that I have played, but it's certainly a party game that has gotten a lot of buzz over the last year.
It has.
That's true.
I don't know. Why would you think it would continue to rise?
I think it's definitely working against its name.
Oh, I agree with you. Again, they're going for that provocative thing. This is from the same designers as, what is it called? Well, not designers, but I don't know. But the company that put out Cards Against Humanity, if I'm not mistaken.
Right, and Cards Against Humanity was actually, I think, the first year we did this. Remember? We were like surprised Cards Against Humanity had made the top 100. It's
been a while.
I don't see it anywhere on the list at this point.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe this will be the highest it ever goes.
It's, again, I agree with Sam that the name is not doing it any favors, but it seems to be a very popular game.
Right.
Zaya is at 141. That has a very strong fan base. This is the first time I've seen it show up. It has the expansion out now. We'll see. This
Right.
could go up or down depending on how much people like it.
And how many copies are there out there in the wild?
Well, with the new expansion with that Kickstarter, another whole pile went out with
Okay.
that.
Okay. I see that.
First game to fall off the list was 96 last year, is now 140, and that's Cyclades. Now, Cyclades was like 46 the first time we did this, and it steadily tracked downwards and then came back on. It even fell off the list, came back on the list last year,
Right.
which of course was because of the expansion.
Right.
So maybe
I think there's a lot of competition in that area lately. You know, the dudes on a map, confrontational kind of game, and usually a lot of people will figure out that they like a more pure flavor of that style of game, whether it's more Euro-y, and then it's not really a dudes on a map game, or it's just a straight up chucking dice, killing, minions, and Cyclades is somewhere in between those two. I can see a lot of people having a harder time finding an Omni gamer that would enjoy Cyclades. So maybe that's why it's trending downward a little bit.
Yeah.
Another new one to the list that I think will go higher is 138, and that's Yokohama. That's a Euro game that's really been getting a lot of buzz from the same people who like Orleans and things like that.
Right,
So I think
right.
that,
That'll probably rise.
well, we'll have to wait and see. Then 132, the next one to fall off the list, was 83 last year. 5130. It was as high as 30 in 2012 and dropped down.
Wow.
That's Alien Frontiers.
Huh. Well,
Okay.
I haven't even thought about that game in a while. So
That's true.
I can see why it's continuing to slip, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I don't know. There might be a lot of addition and expansion confusion out there for that. There's a ton of different editions. I don't even know what is what anymore. And there's expansions that are, if I'm not mistaken, sometimes included, sometimes not included, depending on the version. That's not good for any game system. That's going to create that feeling of, the same thing I get from Dixit now, where I look at an expansion after they rebranded the line some time ago, and I don't know if I have that stuff or not.
Right.
All right, 131's another new one that I think will rise, and that's Sagrada.
Sagrada has been extremely hot. I can only see that game trending up right now when there are more of them available. I know there was a fervor to get them some time ago. Everyone I spoke to seemed to want to get their hands on Sagrada, and they had missed I think it was a Kickstarter, right? They had missed it. The more that game gets printed, I can only see it trending up. It's been extremely positively received.
It has a lot going for it. It looks great on the table. It has a great feel to gameplay as far as the puzzly aspect of it, the spatial aspect of it. There's a lot of things that just clicks off a lot of boxes
Right.
for a lot of different people.
Yeah, this is one of those upcoming gateway classics in the making kind of games, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I think I'm going to make the guess that we will see it on the top 100 next year, possibly the year after that, and then you'll never see it again. I think it will come and people will like it, and something will replace it.
That's possible.
All right, the next one's another one that fell off, and I predicted it would fall off last year. It was as high as number 10 in 2011, but it fell off because it had a new game come out to replace it, and that is Arkham Horror. It was 77 last year, dropped down to 130, and I think that's for two reasons. I think not only did Eldritch Horror beat up on it, but now we have Arkham Horror, the card game.
Yeah.
So between those two, I think Arkham Horror you won't even see next year.
I don't think so. I don't see this coming back on the list.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still an enjoyable game, but
It
had its time.
Yeah, I
Had its
agree.
heyday.
Okay, 128, I guarantee will be in the top 100 next year, and that's 7th Continent.
Wow. Wow, that was brand spanking new.
I know. That's
With one Kickstarter edition behind it, that's it. Because that
Right.
game they don't put it in stores, right? Is my understanding.
Nope. So I mean,
So-
and everyone just received
Man.
it. So there's that new hotness. It just came out a month or two ago. Everyone's been getting it and playing it. They really like it. So we'll see where it lands next year. But I haven't seen a lot of negativity to
I
it.
would assume this can only go up. Yeah.
127 is Kingdom Death Monster. Now this is one of those games that you love, or you don't, or you've never played
Or
it.
you've never played it, right? Exactly.
I mean, that's really, there's two types of people. People who like Kingdom Monster.
Yeah.
Well, that's really the truth of it, because you're going to be attracted to those miniatures and that grotesqueness of it, and the difficulty of it. And you're going to really, I mean, the people who like it, like it.
Well, this is exactly the kind of game, as you were saying in the beginning, that becomes highly ranked on Board Game Geek. Because the only people ranking it are going into it expecting to like it. You know what I mean? If I know I'm probably not going to like it, I'm not saying that. I have no idea, really. But assuming I was not interested, it would never get a low ranking from me because I would never go to the point of actually playing it. And so what you end up with is a fairly small pool of 10s and 9s and 8s.
Yep.
Hence, making it shoot up really high. But it's a divisive game, as many of the games near the top will be. I don't know. You think it's going to go up or down?
Well, I
on
did
if
see
they
some
keep-
people on Reddit saying they were going to come in and vote this up so that it would be higher on the list.
Just
That's
out
a
of-
microcosm of
spite.
people, though. You
Just
know.
out
There
of
was also some
spite.
people who said they're going to vote Monopoly to the top, and that didn't make the list at all either. So I just think that the people who like it put it at number 1, which makes it go up. And
Yeah.
there you go. All right, the next one fell off the top 100. That started at 17 in 2012. Now it's 126. It was 94 last year, but I'm going to call it's going to be back on 100 next year, and that's Eclipse. And the reason I think it will be back on is because the big second edition is coming out next year. They're rehauling a few of the rules, graphic design, everything, and that's going to bring that game a whole new burst.
Okay. I can see that.
Then the next one, 100 last year, 123 this year, Dominant Species. A very good game, but a very select group of people who are going to like a
Very much.
really long, heavy, chaotic worker placement game. Coup fell off the list. 122 was 90 last year. I think, that's just that Coup's a nice, light little game that a lot of people like, but they found other light little games that they like.
Yeah, that style of game is likely to slowly trend downward simply because the injection of new games there's too many.
120's Alhambra was 99 last year.
I'm surprised this game is still this high.
I know, that's the thing. It's been on.
Game
This
is
is the first year
old.
it's off the list. Well, it was 123 in 2012, but other than that, it was 77, 71, 82, 99. Stays on the list.
It really does. I mean, it's in my top 100. I've had tremendous success with it as a gateway game. I'm just surprised that many people like it.
Maybe it's you. Or all the Z
Yeah,
effect.
right. That's it.
119, I'm calling, will be on the top 100 next year, and that is Hero Realms. Just because of how popular Star Realms is, I think Hero Realms will pull on. While 117, I think, has had its heyday. It was as high as 17, and now it's
Wow.
it was 65 last year, and that's Sentinels of the Multiverse. Now that they finished the game, and they made an app that kind of replaces the game in a sense because it keeps track of all that bookkeeping for you.
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I think I really like the game a lot. I think it's a great game, but I think that it's had its time and people are moving on. 115 is off the list. 87 last year. One Night Ultimate Werewolf. I wonder why though. I thought that one was super high.
I think it's brand diffusion there. I think there is One Night Ultimate Werewolf, but someone comes along and they go, "Oh, I like Vampire, One Night Ultimate Vampire better. Oh, I like Alien better." Those people cannibalize their own votes.
Maybe, but there were some times where I had to combine a few things because they were essentially the same when I was putting this together, and I didn't even see the other ones on the list.
Okay.
But who knows? 114, Sam will be glad for. It was 91 last year, and that's Lost Cities.
I expected this.
I still think that's pretty high, though.
That game is
for
also
a game
really
that's
old.
a two-player
It is.
old game. 113 was 97 last year, and that's Tokaido.
Tokaido's had a lot of staying power, actually.
It has, but I think that it.
It
I know
just
there
came
was,
out with a new version of it. I know that, but it's mainly a facelift. It's just a new car, a new.
but there was also
look.
a lot of backlash. There was Kickstarter orders not getting to people on
Right.
time.
It's been a little rocky along the way. Yeah.
112 was 85 last year, but I think it's not going to go back up, and that's Above and Below. Above and Below came out, but that was beat up with by Near and Far.
Near and Far, put that one to bed.
110 was on the list for 5 years, but I think it's on its way out, and that's Libertalia. I like Libertalia, a lot of fun, but I don't even think, is it even out in the market anymore?
No expansions.
Why did they never make expansions for that
I don't know,
game?
but
It
that's
seems
what-
like an obvious thing, right?
That's the thing. That game is actually a very light game. It's a very simple play a card, collect a token, do that a few times. Like, that game is light. That game needed an expansion to really stay relevant, and it hasn't had the support. So
109 was on the list for 7 years, and now it's off. 89 last year, and that's Summoner Wars. I love Summoner Wars.
Yeah.
But
just
with the
because
fact
it's
that it's
done, I mean, I guess.
also though that you just can't go out and buy it everywhere too.
Yeah, it has kind of. I mean, I guess they're still coming out with. Not anymore. Have they coming out with anything this year?
2016 they finished it.
Right,
They
okay,
said.
right.
Yeah, so nothing this year. So yeah, I can see why.
But it's still pretty high.
no,
Yeah,
it
it
is.
is.
Yeah, very good.
I want you guys to guess on this one whether we'll go up or down next year. 108 Ethnos.
Oh, yeah.
You think so?
Yeah, I
you
do.
don't think it'll stay right where it's at? 108's pretty high.
No, I mean it just hit this year, and it's already at 108.
And I expect to see a surprise
And-
expansion for this with how
And
popular it's
everybody-
been.
Well, yeah, it's been so popular lately. I think it'll probably.
This
grow.
is an easy game to make an expansion for. I can definitely see them taking that opportunity.
107 was 98 last year, and that's Sherlock Holmes Consulting Detective. That has a huge amount of fans, especially with Shut Up and Sit Down, really pushing it. That's I think their favorite game, or
Right.
they really got that game back in
Is this
print
the
to some
one that
degree.
was very reading intensive?
Yeah, I don't know if you would like this. It's like time stories, but a little bit more nebulous. You get to read like passages.
No,
you have a
I-
newspaper.
I've played this
Oh, you have?
at the gathering.
Oh, did you like it?
No.
Oh,
And
okay.
Neither did.
I don't see this game. I only see it trending downward at this
I played
point.
it with 4 people, and none of the people at the table liked it.
This is one of the most divisive, quote unquote, games on this list. This is one of the weirdest things on the list. I can only see it going down. It does not have that market appeal.
Eccentric.
Is that jet like?
That's taking off. Yes.
All right, 106 has been on the list for 7 years and is off, and I don't see it coming back either. And that's Lord of the Rings, the card game. It was 76 last year. It's very, very popular, but again, because the Arkham Horror card game uses very similar mechanisms to the point where
They're
they're almost a
similar.
sequel, really.
Yeah, it's inspired by, and I think it's a better game, much better game.
105 is the only Tiny Epic game on the list. That's Tiny Epic Galaxies. Up or down next year?
I don't know when in the timeline the little expansion for it came out. I'm gonna say it's gonna stay right there, actually.
All right.
I don't care.
104 fell off the list. Was 62 last year, and that's Kingsburg.
That's coming back because
But
it's
I
getting
think that's because
reprinted.
it's been completely out of print for a year, so a lot of new people have not played it.
It fell off the list completely last year.
Yeah, it was 62.
Oh, 62 it was last year.
And then went to 104, which is still pretty high.
Yeah.
I think once the new version comes
it.
out, we'll see a resurgence for
I
it.
think so too.
Yeah.
103 is going to be higher next year. I'm calling it now. Near and Far.
Yes.
That's where it debuted. Kicked its brother Above and Below to Below. 102, Game of Thrones, the board game. It was 95 last year. Very popular,
Is
but
this
you
the
have to.
new
No
fantasy
idea.
flight thingy?
No, this is the big board game. It's like diplomacy with all the big Game of Thrones board game. Great game. I like it. Kind of. I don't want to play it very often because it's very stressful for me because there's so much diplomacy. And I don't mind stabbing people in the back and doing that sort of thing. In a shorter game, those longer games, it really wears on you.
Okay.
Then the one that just missed the top 100 was 84 last year, and I think it's going to trend downwards, and that is Android Netrunner.
Wow.
Again,
I'm
this game
surprised
has
it's
its
still
fans.
this high, actually.
Well,
It has its
it's
fans.
people who love
Yeah,
it, love
right,
it.
Right.
Do you think even with the rebranding, the new core set that they're pushing, I mean, they've kind of like taken a step back and said, okay, we're cleaning house.
Yeah, but
starting again.
let's say you buy the new core set, right? Like, ooh, I'm going to get a Netrunner. Who are you going to play with? The people who are
Ghostbusters.
hardcore. The people who are hardcore gamers.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And if you live somewhere where that group isn't there, you have no business playing this game. You're not going to be able to.
Oh, I don't know. You could play with your buddies and stuff like that.
No, they don't like you. That's the thing.
All right, well, that's the games. Next list, we will start from 100 and go downwards. You know, there's more here. I might post a list of games that missed the complete list because we didn't go over all of them later on, or I might not, just to taunt people. No, I'll probably post it somewhere.
Probably, he said.
Hunting you.
Just watching.
Anyway,
watching
until
out
next
for you.
time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Thank you.
Sam Healy. See you on the next one.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.